He invented the hardest move on rings, but he fell on it at Nationals. Thankfully, he was okay, but it could have been really bad. And 2 months later, he had to compete it again at the World Championships, where he nailed the hardest move in the world on rings and won first place.
Now I'm towing my car, there's a hole in the roof. My possessions cause a suspicion, but there's no proof. In the paper.
Little advice from a woman who went through the worst year of her life last year. And I just want to say this, that whether you believe in God, the higher power of the universe, just to remember, I believe in God. So God will always put you back together in front of the very people that broke you. You got this.
I do have a son. Sorry.
How old is he?
He is 4.
Okay. Okay.
Give me flowers just because you love me. A text now and then to show you care. A kiss on the head when I'm crying, and that's the minimum, so you're aware. And you should always open my door. I wanna laugh till our stomachs get sore, and compliment me so I feel pretty, and leave cute letters so I feel adored.
A lot of these modern women are talking about wanting to meet a man in the wild. Well, you have to have a meet a man in the wild face. You have to have a meet a man in the wild attitude. And a lot of y'all are unpleasant and you're ugly.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Okay. Hey, so a boundary isn't about getting someone else to comply. It's about what you will do if they don't. All right. So, just remember that.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Something I find quite hilarious, is that these dudes will beg for your time. They will beg, they will be barking, they will be all up in your grill, baby, begging you for your time just to waste it. Like literally just waste it. Like, what was the point? What was the point?
Who love you ain't gonna come to you while he broke. A broke man is an angry man. A broke man is a figuring out man. A broke man is who gonna tell you gotta wait. And who love you don't want to tell you that. Who really love you, they gonna wait to put you stay got together. And if a motherfucker come to you telling you up front of their stuff, they probably there to use you. Cause a broke ain't gonna come bother you. They gonna get together, then they gonna put you when they can afford with you and give you good experiences in life.
This is pretty good. This is food with integrity! Yeah! And you know it. Ready? Let's say it together. 3, 2, 1. Food with integrity! Yeah! Come on, W, buddy.
I know it ain't easy, but that's okay.
A lot of these modern women continue to talk about they want a good man. Well, that man that you had was good to you, but you didn't want. That's what Kevin Samuels used to say a lot. What happened to your baby daddy? Oh, well, you know, and some of these guys are trash, to be honest. But some of these guys were actually good guys. But y'all boring. I don't really want them. That type of foolishness.
Cultural appropriation. By now, I'm sure most individuals have heard of it, as personally, I have seen numerous things featured not only in social media, but also on the news as well in regards to what some consider to be culturally appropriated. But every once in a while, I do see something that absolutely baffles me. Seriously, someone actually said that that unfortunate event was cultural appropriation, specifically when performed by a specific demographic. Can anyone actually imagine the amount of mental gymnastics that a person would have to go through in order to be able to make such a statement with any degree of seeming sincerity? It's absolutely mind-boggling, isn't it? But yet here we are. It's unfortunate that some individuals seem to be so unaware of human history in addition to human psychology, because that unfortunate event has, unfortunately, been occurring throughout all of human history and across all of human cultures. It is not an unfortunate event that is tied to just one culture. That is an unfortunate event that is tied to humanity.
Dating in this generation is expensive, it's a waste of time, and it's foolishness. So when a man sees that, just a risk assessment, cost benefit analysis. I'm trying to see if this is something or this is a road that I should actually go down.
You get the... Look at your head. Thank you. I let them... Thank you.
Say a car before driving it. Ain't that what you want?
I'm positive. I'm positive, baby.
That what you want?
I'm positive.
Sure.
Shit, nice to meet you, bitch.
Common complaints a lot of women have about men. He doesn't open up. Well, is he safe to open up? What happened last time he did? Did you use it against him in an argument later? Did you invalidate his feelings? Did you change the subject to make it about you? He doesn't reassure me enough. Well, how much do you ask for it? Is he supposed to reassure you every 5 seconds? Or do you just need reassurance once in a while? Because you could ask for that. That's no problem. But at what point is your need for reassurance emotional dependency? And do you appreciate him giving you reassurance, or do you take that for granted like everything else that he does? He doesn't fight for the relationship. Are your guys' arguments repetitive and unproductive? Do things actually get solved? And you're in a relationship with him, he shouldn't have to fight for you. He should feel safe and comfortable in the relationship where he's not walking on eggshells. Is that the relationship you have? He won't talk about the future with me. Can he talk freely, or do you get really upset and mad if he says he wants something that maybe you don't? Are you actually hearing him out, or are you pressuring him to speak about the future multiple times and he's already told you what he's okay with and what he's not okay with? Are those conversations actually productive?
And this type of, controlling nature that modern women have, even though they try to keep it subtle, it really turns a man off. It's something that men are frustrated with. You just try, everything that you say is right and everything that I say is wrong. Everything that you do is right and everything that I do is wrong.
I used to date the man that would go through a drive-thru on his way home, get himself something to eat, come home, eat it in front of me, and then look me in the eyes and say, "Oh, I didn't know you would want anything." Gross. Now, I date the man who I mentioned I might need like a small snack, and before I know it, that man is poof in the kitchen, whipping me up a mean bowl of cereal, chicken nuggets, getting my candy stash for me. Literally, the man just might think that I'm hungry and he's feeding me. He makes my coffee for me in the morning. He reads my Bible to me. I'm like, what was I ever even doing? What was I doing?
A lot of men, when they see the state of dating, when they see how modern women act, my God, you can't even go to a baseball game anymore and expect a sporting event and expect for a woman not to cut up. You can't even go to church and expect a woman not to cut up. Modern women, not all women, not all women, modern women to cut up.
I'm dating this man, right? I break up with him. I immediately regret this decision when I broke up with him. I was in the trenches afterwards. And I was like, no, I got to hold to it. Got to hold to my decision. This is the right decision. Blah, blah, blah. I got to hold to my decision. Couldn't do it. Tried to hold out, couldn't do it. Ended up started texting him. He's flat out ignoring me.
You guys, I'm telling you right now, even if that man wanted to get back together with her just as badly as she wanted to get back together with him, he made the right move. You do not want to be responsive to her reaching out to you just like that and to just be willing to give anything that she asks for, because automatically that woman will lose some respect for you. And I should give you the caveat. Okay, this is in cases where she broke up with you for no good reason. Like, you didn't do anything to make her angry. I think in the cases where if you did something that was really bad on your part, you can be responsive and she can still maintain respect for you. But if you literally did nothing and then she experiences you getting back on the hook without her really giving anything to you, when she's really the one that did you dirty, this is the only way to handle it. And by the way, that woman ends up calling him and texting him time and time again, not obsessively, but here and there. And then at one point, one night, she tells him that her grandma, and he didn't even respond to that. But later on, they did end up getting back together. Then he found out that her grandma didn't actually. So there's that.
New dance challenge. I go choose my kinda to Balenciaga with a shoulder, so we don't really bother. Yeah, can't roll now. Every day be the same. Check my composure. I did high on the hill. Yeah, I know you're right. So every day be the party. Yeah, can't roll now. Every day be the same.
Rockstar made it.
Authentic mix.
Go!
It's not really rocket science, man. If a man watches his buddy get divorced, lose half his stuff, do you think that he's going to want to get married? Really? Probably not. When I watch you talk reckless and crazy, do you think I'm going to want to marry you? Probably not.
You can play the same level for decades. It'll never say, what are you, a commitment phobe? You don't want to go to the next level of this video game, the Uber challenge? It's always choice, always choice, always choice. Video game doesn't punish you. Video game doesn't tell you what an idiot you are. Video game doesn't say you're just like your father. They're perfect. Video games are perfect. We have so much to learn from them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Another dynamic, I suppose, I don't know if maybe it is a subtle version of punishing, but it's really just undermining connection, is the withholding of quality information. And I know we've spoken to this a couple times throughout, and just how important communication is fundamentally for a relationship to be well lubricated. But why is that the case? Why do we withhold quality information?
Well, one is, I gotta say something about communication. Yes, most people just flat don't communicate. They think complaining is communication. They think criticism is communication. Most people will do what they call communicating, which is a way to make sure someone else knows how upset they are, without being exposed, without being vulnerable. So withholding quality information, actionable information, ways to make a difference, to have an impact, which women don't know. Men are always looking for how to have an impact. And many women are too. We all want to have an impact. If I were to give you actionable information, now I'm exposed. You could take me telling you what I need and use it against me. You could attack it. You now know what to withhold. It's instinctual. It's instinctual to not tell. And part of the instinct, and especially in a productive state of mind, and I learned this from years of listening to men, which I had to learn how to do. There's this thing that men say, there's no point in stating the obvious.
These modern women continue to go online. They go to therapy and they learn some new search terms or some new buzzwords, and then they start trying to apply that to you, whether in a relationship or an argument or whatever it might be. Oh, you're this type of person, and be dead wrong. They be so, oh, my gut is just telling me. Your gut is twisted. You're wrong.
Shout out to chivalrous. Did I say it right? Chivalrous. Whatever it is. Those type of men. I literally just saw a man open the door for his wife, his girlfriend. I don't know who it was, but it was just the sweetest thing, and I love to see it. Shout out to y'all.
Where the have all the good men gone?
Where are they?
It seems that no one has manners anymore. Men hit me up for a booty call all the time. Trust me, I read your DMs. Whatever happened to hi or how are you? You can't have riz without having some class. Practice good table manners, be a gentleman or a lady, and for the love of God, wear something chic. Can't get a second chance to make a first impression.
Modern women don't seem to understand you can't shame a regular guy. You average, you need to be above average. Oh, you need to be this, and this. And then when that man finally goes and finds somebody, whether it be overseas or in another city, in another state, when he get about your face and go find somebody else, now you asking where all the good men went. They went to go find somebody that wasn't acting stupid.
Dating in New York is terrible. There's an epidemic of single women and single men because no one wants to get married anytime soon. Women want to settle down and have a life with somebody, and the men just are taking advantage of the fact that they know that they don't have to have kids. You know, rightfully so, as they should. Like, men should be able to do whatever they want as much as women should be able to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? You'll end up getting ghosted or lied to, or something turns into a situationship that you didn't necessarily think was going to be a situationship. Dating in New York is terrible.
Here's why a lot of modern women don't need to get married. They don't want to compromise. They do not see faults in themselves. They want a complete package, but they ain't a complete package. It is not always about how you feel. Feelings change. You cannot make decisions on a feeling. Not good at meeting anyone else's needs but their own. I say this all the time. Selfish people do not need to get married. It requires sacrifice, and it's not going to always be about you.
Another thing is that a lot of modern women don't like to take accountability. And a man can't live with you if that's the way that you think. There's nothing that I can do about that. There's nothing that I want to do about that. I can be at home, chilling, taking it easy. Why would I want to sit there and be bothered with you? Why would I want to sit there and have stupidity hanging around me? That's something that we got to figure out. That's the thing that we have to look for. Why would I want to be bothered with somebody that don't know how to act? And when they don't know how to act, they're looking at me like I done something wrong, instead of taking accountability.
Young men, you need to have a destination in your life. If you are on a date and a young lady says, well, what do you do? And you're like, it's I kind of meander, and I go on DraftKings, and I own crypto, and I don't know. And loser, instead it should be, I'm studying this because of this. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to work for this person. I want to be able to make this much money by this period of time to provide for a family. And I don't care how hard it gets, but I'll provide for you and provide for the kids. And I'll be the protector and the covering over the family. Follow me because I'm going to lead us. That's what they want to hear.
I'm not calling your phone because I miss you. I'm not calling your phone because I thought about what I did and how I hurt you and how you're the best thing that ever happened to me. I give you these random check-ins, right? I pop in and out every so often, right? Just to see if I still got it. Just to see if I still have access to you. Just to see if I can say all of the right things at the right time. And before you know it, I'm right back in your house. I'm right back in your mouth. I'm right in between your thighs. I got your back on an emotional roller coaster just to disappoint you again.
The only way to have healthy relationships is to have a realistic expectation of what it means to be human, which means you can't meet my needs 100% of the time. You are going to have things that you do that drive me crazy. There are going to be things that I do that drive you crazy. It's the concept of, can we accept what it is to be normal as a human being?
And I want to add that you're not my source of life and I'm not your source of life. That doesn't mean that we're not streams passing
investing into each other's lives, bettering it, but you're not where I get my source of my worth, my value. And that's necessary at the core of this.
I got sent this video earlier, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm torn about it. On one hand, I see an INDE, however you spell it, let me know in the chat. But I see independent woman, taking care of everything. But the truth is, if I was her husband, she would know not to do that. Because she know I would carry all the heavy stuff. Look at her. I mean, she's struggling. She's probably somewhere hot. She's tired. Who knows how many things she's carrying inside? Like, as her husband, if that was me, I would make sure that she knows to leave all the heavy stuff to me, because that's what I do. That's what I got these muscles for. Look at her taking a drink. She's tired. Man, where's her husband at? Where's her man in her life? If that was me, I would
I think the reason why black men date outside of their race is because they want to be loved and catered to. And imagine coming from a household where they have a toxic mother, and then they date a black woman who's a toxic black woman who reminds them of their mother. I wouldn't want that. I'm dating outside of that. I want to be better than that. Does that make sense? And not to attack y'all, but you guys don't listen to understand. You listen to argue. You listen to pick. You guys are not open-minded all the time. And not all of you ladies, not all of you, but a lot of you, especially on this app, I've noticed, you attack a lot of people. You even attack me over something I'm saying. It's my opinion. And you belittle me. So imagine what you do to men. I don't think that men do it on purpose, but I think men like that catering and that sweet. And a lot of women will sit there and listen. Yes, not every race is going to understand his struggles. And yes, you should not be giving your love to every man. But this is not right.
A woman in her 30s who doesn't have romantic love, it's like the greatest tragedy ever. You know, poor Lisa never found romantic love, and now she's in her 40s and she has cats. What a tragedy. Guess what? Lisa's just fine. All of the research shows the following. Men need and benefit from relationships much more than women.
Women aren't scared of ending up single. They're scared of ending up drained in the wrong marriage. Men simply benefit from marriage way more than women do. This whole idea that she's the one that should be worried is so outdated. She's not the one who loses anything. Lisa and her cats are just fine. In fact, they're living a peaceful, stress-free life. Single women are thriving. Married women are exhausted.
All right, y'all. Here's a question. Why men don't approach women anymore? Glad you asked. Let's get into it, family. Happy Saturday, everybody. Number one, the fear of rejection. Women today, as we know, have some unrealistic standards. Some women. Plus, he has a six-pack, six-figure, and is 6 feet. You can't talk to him. Number two, it's not just about the fear of rejection. For some men, it's the fear of being labeled a creep or because the man that's approaching you isn't your type. So because he's interested in you, he a creep? Come on now. Number three, online dating, which has made it so men don't have to get rejected in person. Number four, social media. Now you can just run up in somebody's DM. You don't have to have communication skills. I think all this technology and everything has made our communication skills terrible, y'all. Terrible. And last, we've seen how women will reject men in unnecessarily rude ways. It's okay to not be interested, to try to embarrass them. Y'all, we gotta stop.
You want to know why men are leaving relationships today? Because you became his biggest source of stress. Men are going to leave relationships when women become the biggest stress factor in their life. The reality of it is right now is that ladies out there, you're telling yourself a comforting lie. You're calling him a narcissist and that he was treating you badly, that he was cheating, he was checking out other women, he was doing all of these things. But the reality of it is, you became his biggest source of stress. He came home to nagging and drama. He came home to someone that was never happy with anything that he did. He came home to someone that was consistently belittling him, putting him down, and mentally draining every ounce of him, while still having to worry about the bills and everything else that needed to be met. His work, his family, his friends, being the source of income for plenty of people around him, and at the same time being told that anything he did wasn't good enough, and if he spoke up, it wasn't fair what he said. Don't be his stress.
You know, I guess I've been naive in the world. I was out of the dating scene for about 20 years. Recently got a divorce. It's been like 3 years since we got a divorce. But the one thing that I never imagined would be the case these days is that I think people play more games now than they did when I was in high school in my early 20s. It just doesn't make any sense to me why people do the things they do. I'm like, I don't want to waste any time in my life with people that I know it's not going to work out. But these people will just do whatever. It's like pointless.
You think chivalry in modern dating? Who makes the first move? Guy. I'm a little old school, so I think intention from the guy matters. Don't you think chivalry is not only reserved for men? Both men and women can make the first move. Okay, maybe. Planning the date. I would like to plan the date because planning is a lot of effort, and I think the effort matters. That's chivalry for me. Over planning your date can be very controlling, yeah? Okay, let me give you a scenario. Okay. Going drinking on the first date, I would personally avoid it. But if you do go out for drinks, I think it's a guy's responsibility to make sure she's safe, book an Uber and check if she's gotten home safely. Yeah, 100%. What about splitting the bill? I would not want to split the bill on the first date. This is the first thing I would agree with you. Because you can do it in a way where you're paying for alternate meals. Yeah, another super underrated form of chivalry for me is when you're on your date, you keep your phone away. Oh, for sure.
5 signs of husband material. Number 1, emotional maturity. He understands what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. But most importantly, there's never a time when your emotions is taken for granted. Number 2, ultimate wisdom. Being knowledgeable is good, but having wisdom is greater because experience will triumph unapplied information any day. Number 3, the ability to lead. A man who can't lead himself won't be able to lead a family or let alone a woman. Number 4, he's nurturing and nourishing. Society told us that a man is only supposed to be a provider and a protector. But in actuality, a man's love in any home is just as important, if not more, than a woman's. And number 5, communication and comprehension. Not only can he speak well, but he can listen just as good. This man is pure gold and protect him at all costs. Keep a rich mentality.
Let me tell you something that some women don't realize until it's too late. You see, there's a kind of man that you don't replace. You can't replace. You remember him. Not because he was flashy, not because he was loud, but because he was consistent. He showed up when life was ugly. He protected your peace when he didn't have to. He loved you quietly without performing for the internet. And you see, the mistake is thinking that that kind of man would always be there. You see, men like that don't beg. They don't argue and they don't move in circles. They don't compete for your attention. They just withdraw. And one day when you wake up and you realize that that attention is gone, the safety is gone, the calm is gone, and you realize that you're surrounded by men who talk a lot but don't do anything, that's when you realize the mistake that you've made. But it's often too late.
What's your age?
24, 22.
If I was your man, what would I need to pay for you?
Pay for? Nothing.
So you're not expecting me?
You know they ain't from America.
For dates if we went out?
Expect? I don't have expectations for anybody. I do think it shows character.
And then women mad because men going overseas. Please.
Actions? Yeah, definitely. It's not about the money. It's just about like how you treat us.
You know they ain't from America.
So I could be your boyfriend and not be able to afford taking you out on dates, and you'd still stick it with me through thick and thin.
If you're a good person, that's all that matters. It's the chemistry's there. There's some people with loads of money and they treat their girlfriends like so.
does that mean I don't have to pay for your hair or your nails either?
No, I've never had somebody pay for my hair and nails.
So for a first date, if I said let's just go for a walk in the park,
fellas,
you'd be fine with that too.
You got to get out of America.
I prefer a walk in the park than a dinner for the first date. Definitely. I think
Fellas got to get out of America,
casual,
man. Get your passports.
And you can actually get to know the person. Listen, as long as you're waking up every morning and going to work,
experience life, experience the world.
When you missed me, just remember that I was right there, texting you back, answering your calls, making time for you, actually trying. I wasn't hard to deal with. I wasn't confusing. I wasn't playing games. I was showing up and you still treating me like I was optional. You had access to me every day and you moved like it didn't matter. So when you start thinking about me later, don't act like you lost me. You didn't lose me. You had me. You just didn't value me when it was easy and now it's quiet. Now I'm not calling. Now I'm not texting. Now I'm not showing up the same. And that's what you miss. Not the idea of me, but the consistency that you took for granted. And the crazy part, you had that for free and you still fumbled it.
Because I'm in a relationship, I don't act single just because I'm upset. A lot of people know how to be committed when everything is going well. But the real test of your character is what you do and how you move when you get hurt. When you're frustrated, misunderstood, feeling neglected. That's when people show who they really are. Some people get upset and all of a sudden boundaries disappear. Now it's, I'm going out, I'm doing me, I don't care anymore. Now they're entertaining attention, being a little too friendly, and opening doors that they know should have stayed closed. And then got the nerve to call it harmless when you know it's really just emotional reaction. But here's the truth that nobody likes to be honest about. Acting single when you're in a relationship doesn't fix the relationship, it damages it. Because now the issue isn't just about what hurt you, it's how you responded to being hurt. And now trust is going to take a hit, respect is going to take a hit, and stability will absolutely take a hit. Being in a relationship means your standards don't change based on your mood. Your behavior cannot shift based on your emotions. Because if your commitment only exists when you feel good, that's not commitment, that's just convenience. So no. I don't act single just because I'm upset. If something is wrong, I address it, communicate it, and I deal with it. But I never step outside of my character to cope with my emotions because I don't just love my partner, I respect my relationship, even when I'm mad.
Women don't need the protection anymore, and we certainly do not need toxic masculinity that breeds hatred.
You don't get to just assess masculinity. I've seen feminism and hatred as well. You don't just get to blame it on men.
Well, I feel it's a lot less likely with women, and as a society we need to soften men and maybe teach them to embrace a kinder, more feminine side.
The reason you don't feel the protection that maybe women receive in the past from men is because for the most part, we're providing it a lot better. You look at the military forces, the police forces of the world, those are 90% men. And you better be down on your knees thanking God at night that there's still men who embrace their masculinity and stick their necks out for us to protect society. Because without the masculine, strong men, what's protecting you? What's standing between you and the dictatorships, the monarchy, the terrorists of the past, to society? And you look at the construction around the world, we're talking hard physical labor. 90% men again to build hospitals and infrastructure. You take men away, where would society be? We're not asking you to stop being a woman. So I'd appreciate it if you'd stop asking men to stop being men. We need more masculinity in the world. We certainly don't need to stop it.
This guy was trying to give me his Instagram the other day, and I am genuinely so uncouth sometimes, and I need to remind myself, give my head a wobble, and sit with myself for a minute, and remind myself that not every thought has to then come out of my because it just seems to happen time and time again. Realistically, in the grand scheme of things, it's truly not a big deal, but it just happens all the time, and there's just no way I can prevent what is happening in my brain coming out verbally. So I'm chatting to this guy, and then he was like, "Oh, take my Instagram." And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. The logical thing to do in that situation would have probably just been him to tell me his Instagram. But I thought, oh no, let me hand this man my phone, and then he can put his Instagram in my phone. Upon going onto Instagram and the search bar, there was a load of people in there, and I was like, okay, he can't see this. So instead of just quietly sitting there and deleting them, I thought it would be wise to tell this man, oh, hang on a second, let me just clear my history. And then he was like, what? Like, how many you got in there? How many? And I was like, what do you mean how many? Like, then I just said to him, I was like, oh no, it's just from stalking people. It's not really any better. But yeah, I cannot help it. I really cannot help it. Like, just whatever is in my brain needs to come out of my mouth, and I need to put a stop to that. But yeah, anyway, that's the story.
These are the things I wish I would have known. My channel is not to make women bad or wrong. It's to expose the challenges and limitations that we have in our wiring. And that as humans, we all have shortcomings. We all have flaws. And one of our shortcomings and flaws as women on the spectrum is that we have a selfishness. We have a need to be right. We have a need to be in control. And we can easily gain control and shape and manipulate a good man and strip him of who he is as a man because of our selfishness and only being able to think of ourselves. And what most importantly I talk on the channel is our unhappiness in ourselves as women, meaning we never learn to have a healthy relationship with ourselves, to be fulfilled from the inside out and not looking for something to make us happy in life, that is our responsibility. And it's imperative for us as women in a relationship or a marriage with a good man that we learn to be happy within ourselves, or we will crush and destroy a good man because we inevitably end up blaming them and making them the problem for why we are so unhappy in ourselves.
I was a good woman and a terrible wife at the same time. Nobody told me that being a good woman wasn't enough for marriage. And I love my husband with everything that I had, but it still was not working. I had the heart, I had the intention, but what I did not have was the understanding of what it actually meant to be a good wife, not just a good woman. Proverbs 14:1 says, a wise woman builds her home, but a foolish one tears it down with her own hands. I wasn't tearing my house down on purpose. I just didn't know how to build it right. So I just want to share with you guys 3 things that I struggle with as a wife versus what I do now. Number 1, I used to speak my mind, okay? Now I speak with purpose because not every single thought that I have needs to leave my mouth, especially to my husband. 2, I used to keep score. I was a scorekeeper. Go, look, with no shame. But now I keep covenant because marriage is not a competition. You know, we're working together and it's a commitment. So I'm committed to making this work. I used to wait to feel like a good wife. Like once my husband did whatever or acted a certain way to make me be this woman that I've always wanted to be, this wife I've always wanted to be, then I would be her. No. Now I choose to be one. I choose to be one because love is an action. It is not just an emotion. You know, I had to stop trying to be a good woman in my marriage and start becoming a good wife to my husband. Being a good woman, that's a gift. Being a good wife, that's practice. That is a decision that you make every single day. And if you're watching this and you feel the way that I used to feel once upon a time, you are not failing. I say it all the time, wifehood is a calling, and we know that anything that the Lord calls us to, the enemy tries to destroy. But if you follow me, you should have enough conviction to know something needs to change. So go be her. Bye for now.
You can't have a strong man and a man that does whatever you say. Those are contradictions. Because a strong man, he's not going to let you run him and tell him what to do, how to do, when to come, when to go. No, that's not a strong man. A weak man, a simp, is going to let you run all over him, do what you want. He going to jump when you say jump. He going to say how high. That's a weak man. That's not a strong man. That's a simp. And if you want a strong man, then you're going to have to accept the fact that that man is not going to do whatever you say. If you want a strong man, then you have to be able to accept the fact that that man is going to be a leader. And leaders are going to do what they do. They're going to lead. They may take advice, but ultimately the decision is left up to them whether they take it or not. You have to be able to accept the fact that a strong man is not going to be your footstool. He's not going to do whatever you say. He's going to have his own mind. He's not going to be all pee-whipped and all this about a woman. A strong man is going to be confident in himself. He will have some sort of standard. I know y'all think y'all can run a man, do whatever y'all want to do because y'all got a slit between y'all legs. But baby, a strong man is not pee-whipped. A strong man will leave you where you stand if you are disrespectful, if you cannot get with the program. And there's nothing wrong with a man having standards. A lot of y'all hate the fact that some men have standards. And those are the ones that y'all be calling sassy because they don't take none of y'all. Y'all want a man that'll take and do whatever you say. But that's not what a strong man will do. A wimp, a simp, yeah. But not a strong man.
And I think it really has come to a point to where, you know, women are starting to really see men missing in action. You know, where are the men at? You know, used to be in coffee shops, or they used to be over here. They used to be everywhere. Men used to be everywhere. It's just not the case anymore, right? You know, the reason that a lot of these modern women really noticed a man is because a man was in their face, right? And so when something is in your face, then you're more likely to say, oh, well, here's one over here, here's one over there. You know what I mean? Like, say, for instance, one thing that my wife says is like, man, you know, I never noticed, you know, the type of car that you drive until I got with you. And you'd be like, they're all over the place. I've noticed them. That's why I got one, because I noticed it all the time. But that's how people, you know, if I see something, then I'm focused in on it. I'm locked into it. When men used to talk to modern women, then they were like, oh, the men are everywhere. Man's over here, man's over there. I can get a man. You know, there's a man. You'll never have to worry about a man. But now that men are kind of pulling back, they're like, where are the men at? Well, the men are still right where they've always been. They're right in front of your face. It's just you don't notice them because they don't talk to you anymore.